For today's lesson, we're going to take a quick little trip back to math class. In math class, you're often presented with word problems, such as this one here. Calculate the area of a rectangle that has a width of 5 and a length of 3. Now, this is a very simple math problem, but it's a math problem nonetheless. Now, your math teacher is going to tell you to follow a proper process, and the first thing they're going to say is determine what the given data is. So in this case, we would say something like, let L be the length of the rectangle. I'm just going to shorten it to rec for now, just for visibility purposes. And we're going to do similar for the width. Let W be the width of the rectangle. Well, what are these two things? These are nothing more than variables. They're common terms in math, and what they really are is just kind of like an association or a replacement for the actual value. What it means is we can do things like this. Area is equal to length times width. With this equation, or this expression, we can put any values in for L and W, and the expression will work. But we have to keep it generic, so we use these variables, these essentially references to these other values. All they are is placeholders, because those values could really be anything later on when we try to evaluate the expression. And of course, when we actually want to solve the expression, it's just a little simple matter of substitution. So wherever we see L, we find what the length is, and we replace the L with a 3. So this is equal to 3, and then whenever we see a W, we replace it with a 5 times 5, which is going to give us 15 units squared. So we've calculated the area using the expression by substituting the true values for those variables. Well, in programming, we have a very similar tool. We also have variables, and they perform essentially the same basic process. They have the ability to hold information. That's it. That's all they do. They just hold information. And like we see here, if we were to use the name of our variable in our programs, it's just a simple matter of substitution. Whatever value is currently stored in that variable will be replaced in the actual expression in the program. There's no difference between this and math class, except math has certain rules that we can't really abide by in programming. So for example, in math class, I could say something like x is equal to 5. That's fine. I could also say 5 is equal to x. These two statements are equivalent. They mean the exact same thing, and the reason being is because the equal sign means equality. All it really is saying is that the left side is equal to the right side. Well, of course it is. It's math class. That x is a variable, and obviously that x has the value 5, so 5 equals 5. However, in programming, we can't do this. Our syntax, our grammar, will force us to structure our statements in a certain way, which we're going to see in the upcoming modules. So we have to realize that although we do have a lot of, there's a lot of things in common from programming variables to math class variables, there are some differences and changes. In our programming, when we have a variable, essentially what we want to do is we want to visualize it like a bucket, a named bucket in fact. And that bucket is going to have some type of name on it that represents the data that we want to store in the bucket. So for example, I might have a bucket called username. And of course, I'm going to put the user's name in that bucket. Now, this bucket can be referred to later on whenever I want to, just by calling the name of it again. So if I wanted to use username for something like, say, displaying it on the screen, all I have to do is refer to it by its name. And that's it. So just like a bucket, all you can do is store things in there and take it out. That's it. So this is our introduction to variables, and in the next upcoming modules, we're going to learn all the different aspects of what it is for a variable, or the 3 parts for a variable, which include the type, the value, and the type, the value, and the identifier. And these 3 pieces of information are going to define what a variable is.